Award ceremony for the best crime and mystery short stories by Australian women. It's the 30th anniversary. We're going to clap that. But you know, before I did that, I was going to actually get you to clap yourselves. I actually think having a themed audience, having your audience colour-coded, this is better than a football match. Much better than a football match. This is extraordinary. You look amazing. Oh, well done. So clap. Clap yourselves. Fantastic audience. Okay, I've got a script in one hand and I've got a bung knee here, which is why I'm sitting down, so forgive me for that. At the outset, on behalf of Sisters in Crime Australia, we respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the people of the Kulin Nations. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and we acknowledge and uphold their continuing relationship to the land and the sea. It's actually wonderful to see so many crime fans gathered here tonight to celebrate 30 years of top crime and mystery short stories, and if I don't wave this around, I'm going to get into deep trouble from Lindy because this is the 30th anniversary collection of short stories, and I actually read them all. I've written the introduction to this book, and Lindy asked me to do so, and I was delighted to do so. But I read them all. They're extraordinary. They're really amazing stories. So please, get hold of this and see what's gone on in the past, because many of these writers have gone on to great things as well. We'll say more about that eventually. Okay. According to Thursday's Age, red is the new pink. And the trendsetters are Kate, Camilla and others in the royal family. Who would have thought it? However, we're not sure that it actually indicates a shift in their politics, though we don't know about their murderous inclinations. I'm watching The Crown, last one. Tonight, a mystery judge will be checking out your outfits and award a bag of my mouth's not working. Award a bag of books to the best Scarlet and Pearls ensemble. So parade yourselves around a little. You don't know who's watching. Okay, let me give you a little bit of history. Back in 1994, the Sisters in Crime conveners were sitting around a table in Park Street, St Kilda, having dinner and plotting their next move. What we didn't know then, but do now, was that the next move would result in a competition that would run for over 30 years, attract 4,582 entries, that's a lot of reading, folks, launch the writing careers of a whole battalion of now famous crime-writing women. The big question was, what would we call such a competition? Almost more than merchandise and stationery, the Sisters in Crime love a good slogan or a good brand. In terms of a slogan, it's criminal what a girl's got to do for a good read was the slogan that was emblazoned on our highly collectible t-shirts. In terms of a brand, while we knew the Crime Writers Association in the UK had their Dagger Awards, what we wanted had to be something sharper, more lethal, more, dare we say it, more feminist. I can't remember who called it first. Probably the supreme mistress of the double entendre, Lindy Cameron, who was also the editor of this new collection of winning stories. But what we came up with was, and those of you who are not eating can now do the great Sisters in Crime drum roll. Thighs, please, thighs, or table. The Scarlet Stiletto Awards. This immediately gave us the inspiration for the best crime trophy in the world. I agree. I completely agree. The daggers have got nothing on this. Bad Sydney, we're doing okay, but we've got nothing on this. What it is a high-heeled shoe with its lethal steel heel plunged into a perspex mount. a perfect fit. The op shops of St Kilda were immediately raided for every red high-heeled shoe we could find, the sisters being more inclined towards a comfy pair of flats than a murderous pair of torturous heels. Birkenstocks, anyone? In the first few years of the awards, with prize money attached, they only went to first, second, and third prize stories, but many writers received special commendation certificates because we wanted to get them while they were young. The Best Young Writer Award was soon introduced, and gradually other categories were added to the competition and prize money pool. Malice Domestic, so many women killed their husbands. It's extraordinary. Best Film Idea, Cross-Genre, History with Mystery, The Body in the Library, Most Satisfying Retribution. The only criteria: the writer must be a woman, the main protagonist must be female, and the story must obviously be a crime or a mystery story. As someone who was closely involved in the judging process from the start, I can testify to the professionalism with which this was accomplished. Although, of course, it was another good reason to get together and have a party. Being a sister has always been about having fun, even if our ultimate goal was to promote women's crime writing and create more opportunities for this to flourish. So we went away together for a weekend, as you do, reading, laughing, and arguing, fueled by lashings of ginger beer, or something similar. Absolutely. The Blyton fans are among us. No names were attached to the stories. Actually, Enid Blyton writes bloody good thrillers, I have to say. I've gone back and read a few. Don't underestimate the Enid. Apparently she liked to play tennis naked. That's something Robert Gott told me. I haven't been able to get that out of my head since. And I now realise I've just shared that with you and you won't be able to either. There you go, you learned something tonight. No names were attached to the stories. As a judge, you were handed an anonymized bundle of typewritten pages that were read blind, in pairs, to produce a long list that was hotly debated. It was therefore always an exciting moment when the reveal occurred and we discovered just who our winners were. Once the same person won it twice in the first 2 years, and we're looking at you, Kate Kennedy. And, you know, I mean, what did we know? She just went on to have a short story published in the New Yorker, you know. After that, we instituted a new rule. Winning a pair of Scarlet Stilettos obliged the author to become a judge. And so far, this has happened an astonishing 5 times. The sisters have an eye for talent, but Kate remains the only 2-time winner with a matching pair, because, you know, we bought a pair and then was year 1 and year 2, hers match. This year, 250 short stories are competing for 15 awards and, I can't believe this, $12,720 in prize money and benefits. And the first prize winner also takes home the spectacular Scarlet Stiletto trophy. Okay, Sisters in Crime has been delighted by the initiative of Susana Lopez, actor, lawyer, author, bon vivant, and member of Sisters in Crime, who has narrated the top winning stories in the lead up to tonight's ceremony and made them available each Friday for free via the podcast Scarlet Stiletto Bites. Scintillating stories by Australian women on Amazon, Google, Apple, and Spotify. Just a few to go, but we could keep them going if the audience increases and if we can persuade to Susanna. Beg your pardon? Yes, it's your script. It's coming. I'm on it, Carmel. It's happening. Don't worry. We'll get there. Susanna, we would like to persuade you to keep up such punishing schedule, but in the meantime, would you like to come up here for a gift bag? Thank you. Is she there? Here she comes. Susanna. We will have to have a photo, and I will attempt to stand up without falling over. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm loving doing it.
All right. Do you want to have a word?
Sure.
Just say a word.
I'll say a word. My word is that I want the author's feedback, because I'm acting my tits up there. And I mean, after 75 careers, the original one was acting, and now I'm doing it again, and I just want the author's feedback. So text me, come down to St Kilda, put a note in my mailbox, want the feedback.
Okay, so at around 8:15 p.m, I'll be interrogating the wonderful Deb Cox and Fiona Eagger, who are sitting over here, the founders of Every Cloud Productions, about their lives in crime. And they will shortly be presenting framed certificates to authors of highly commended stories. But before we do that, it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Carolyn Beasley, Course Director of the Masters of Writing, the Discipline Coordinator of the Literature and Creative Writing Major, and Academic Director of Research Training for the School of Social Sciences, Media, Film and Education at Swinburne University of Technology. Doing this with a friend just the other day. We were talking, Bridget Griffin Foley, and it was one of those long titles, and then she said, just call me the radio girl.
Well, ours is Sue Smurfy at school.
Yes. So you're
Sue Swedish Jean.
All right.
Previously.
So would you like to say a few words, and I'll swap my seat. Watch out for the falling over there.
Terrific. Thank you, Sue. And I'll keep it very short. Swinburne is incredibly honoured and amazingly excited, as always. Oh, did I get that? Okay, one more. Cool. Used to it. To support the incredible work of Sisters in Crime and the Scarlet Stiletto Awards. That champagne's really good, you can tell. It's a privilege to be in the room with so many talented writers and passionate readers, of course, and to see many return winners and emerging writers as well, making their mark, whether it's by Bloodstain, Gunshot, Poison or Stiletto. So fabulous. Can't wait to read them all. And thanks to the Unstoppable Carmel and the Sisters in Crime crew for putting on such an important and amazing and fun event. Can't wait for the fashion parade. And don't forget also, of course, that Swinburne offers a friendly and supportive community of writing programs, ranging from TAFE to degrees to masters and PhDs, just in case anyone needs us. So thank you so much for your wonderful stories, and may you go on to win even more awards. And I can stand up for a better photo if you want.
Fantastic girls. That was the commercial break. Okay, I'm now absolutely delighted to welcome Christina Lee, a double shoe winner, who will present the judges' report. She wrangles the judges in the final session, no mean feat. She's also an academic, we're used to doing that, and has flown down from Brisbane at her own expense. Oh, yeah, okay, that's added in there, to be part of tonight's ceremony. Christina, over to you. Yay. You get
I'm going to have to do this. You guys look fantastic. Honestly, standing up here, it's just like, wow. It's absolutely great to look at just how wonderful you all look in Scarlet. So, look, thank you very much for having me here tonight. Now, a lot of what I was going to say has already been said, so I'll say something else instead. Yep, how's that? As Sue said, sorry, I'm getting my Sues and my Susannas mixed up. As Sue said, I am a two times Scarlet Stiletto winner, and the best thing about that is when somebody comes round to my place for the first time and we chat and we talk and maybe they have a glass of wine and then they say, what's that over there? And I say, there's another one over there. Yes. But look, I'm meant to do the formal bit and tell you all about the judges and how we played fair and kept a straight bat and all that sort of thing. As Sue said, it was a really big year, 250 entries, the most ever. And that coincided with a lot of our regular judges just being unavailable for a whole lot of different reasons this year, which meant that those of us who were still standing, it was even more of a mad scramble than usual, but gee, it was fun. And we were really pleased to get to the end of our weekend, all still standing, all still friends, and having awarded 14 prizes and 13 honourable mentions. But what I really want to tell you is how much fun it is. I think I have done this for 25 years in a row. Yes, because you won the first two, I won the third one and the fifth one, and I've been doing it ever since. And this year was really good. There was such a variety of stories this year. We were all struck by the variety. I mean, as usual, most people focused on murder because that's the one which springs to mind. But this year, there was also a lot of financial crimes. There was theft and embezzlement and quite a few with completely bloodless but very cruel. And there was also, interestingly, a focus on the criminal possibilities of AI and robotics, which was really fun and really well done by a number of people. We had the new campus crime category, which as an academic, of course, I was really looking forward to, and it was just as much fun and variety as I'd expected. And then there were the old favourites. We all love the body in the library. Cross-genre is always fun. And there were some really new takes on the classic whodunit, and there was a huge range of styles from the hard-boiled to the poetic. So a real big thank you to everyone who entered this year. Now the fun part about it is it's a journey. As a judge, you have to read an awful lot of stories. How many did we have longlisted this year? Was it 64? Yeah. You have to read in styles and subgenres that you might never have read before, that you might have actively avoided, that you might have said, well, I'm not the sort of person who reads that stuff. And you have to read it and you have to think about it, not in terms of, is this the sort of story that I would like to write, but has this person done a great job with what it is she set out to do? It involves engaging with characters unlike anyone you're ever going to meet, with people you might not want to meet. It involves taking your journey into other people's imaginations and generally to get well out of your comfort zone and make the effort to judge each person, or each story on its own merits. It's a great thing to do, particularly for your own writing, because it makes you think critically about why I like this, why I don't like this. Is it me? Is it the story? And it makes you read things that you have avoided and discover that, in fact, there is fantastic writing in that little subgenre as well. And it's also a really sometimes confronting way of confronting some of your own writing weaknesses. So it's a journey and it's really fun. So I'd like to give another big thank you to the authors and to the support teams, their friends, their families, their cats, or any other pets they might have. I'd also like to give a big shout out to my fellow judges, the many people who were involved along the way. In closing, I'd just like to say that women's crime fiction in Australia, on the basis of these 250 stories, continues to charm and surprise and engage and frighten and delight. So it's been a wonderful ride this year, and I hope that everyone in this room is already planning an absolute killer story for me to read next year. Thank you so much.
Here we go again.
There's no escaping the relentless lens.
There we go. Thank you. Okay. We won't keep you in suspense much longer in terms of the highly commended stories, which we're going to do, and then we'll have a little break, I just need to outline the judging process. All 250 stories were judged blind. 8 judges, conveners, present, past, and two two-time shoe winners. Each judge had a co-judge in arriving at a first shortlist, and every story in this final shortlist was read by 5 judges, the famous 5. Authors of the shortlisted stories will receive a framed certificate. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to announce the author, the name of the short story, give you a very short synopsis provided by the author. Deb or Fiona will tell us a little bit about you and then present the award and pose for photos with you. There's going to be some interesting choreography up here, ladies, but we'll work it out. So when your name is announced, please make your way up here to the front. And Deb and Fiona, are you done with your salmon and your mushrooms? Yes. Good, okay. All right. I'm going to introduce these 2 wonderful women a little bit more fully later. So, we will announce every winner, but bios and story synopses will only be read for those who are actually here tonight. So, our beautiful assistant, Lindy, Sisters in Crime's Vice President, will hand us the framed certificates. Okay, and at the end of tonight's ceremony, we'll also call all the shortlisted authors up here for a group photo with Deb and Fiona and me. So, this lot, they're not here. We're just going to read out their names and we're going to give them a round of applause. Vicky Dado, Hazelwood, South Victoria, for All About Eve. Yay! Alyssa McKay, Springwood, Queensland, for Pearl and Jade. Chris Blackford and Kate Williams, Mariba, Queensland, for Where's Wazza? Natalie Conyer, Mosman, New South Wales, for the Biblos Code. Tegan Huntley, Inglewood, Western Australia, for #Blessed. And Cheryl Rogers, West Swan, WA, for Sacrifice. Okay, so now I'm hoping this person, Katie Major, Janali, is she? Hey, make your way up. Katie Major, who lives just down the road from me, was highly commended for A Toe Out of Line, an unusual police procedural, a story of a grim crime told with humour. Detective Miranda Kellen and her friend Serafina Ban try to solve the chilling mystery of a hand sticking out of the boot of a towed car. So, Deb, it's you to read? Yes. You want the microphone? Oh, sorry. Oh, careful. Oh, yes, the choreography. Microphones on the table, girls. Oh, that's where we should have been. Yeah. But then
we'll go with this.
I'll just say.
Okay. Katie Major was born and raised in Singapore before moving to Sydney in 2013. Katie won the Peter Cowan 600 short story competition in the novice category and placed in the top 30 for the SBS Emerging Writers competition in 2022. Her work has been published in several anthologies and magazines.
So, photo op, girls, because you're there. Right, we all looking here. Here we go. I have to and so I can
Yeah, we'll just move around. Okay, next special commendation. Jackie Horwood, Clunes, Victoria. Highly commended for Mrs. Beth, a reimagining of Macbeth, set in modern-day Canberra and the battle for the role of Prime Minister. I want to read this one. Mrs. Beth urges her husband to murder the PM. But things don't go as planned and she finds herself playing detective.
No. Hello. All right. Jackie Horwood is a librarian and lives in regional Victoria. She won the 2003 Scarlet Stiletto and the 2016 Silver Stiletto. She's greedy. She was highly commended in 2019 Scarlet Stiletto Awards. She loves her crime hard-boiled and her eggs sunny side up. Well done.
Look at here. Hooray!
Okay. Eva Leopard from Kingston, Tasmania. Scored a high commendation for her story, First Day on the Job. I love this.
And stilettos.
On her first day on the job as a paranormal enforcement officer, Celtic Deities Division. I already love this. Denise comes across, oh goodness me, just another day at work, vortexes of doom, spectral horses, and an Aussie rules playing God of Art in the middle of Melbourne. But it's not until she begins to investigate a frail, lovable octogenarian that things start to get really weird.
Well, and there's more about Eva. Eva Leopard lives in the Tasmanian bush with an elegant, sufficient number of children. How many is that? 4 children. And a disturbingly large number of rescue animals, many of which she raised by hand whether they liked it or not. She primarily writes comic fantasy and her and her debut novel, The Pitfalls of Being a Goddess, was published in 2023.
What a summary, God. Thank you.
Yes, you need them.
Sorry, it's shoe theme. Flat. That's all right. Okay, next. All the way from Canning Vale, Western Australia, is Jacqueline Warner. Jacqueline was highly commended for Parrot and Malone, an historical mystery set amongst the chaos and destruction of World War II London. Young Violet Skaggs is excited to be working for the famous detective Henri Pierrot and his equally famous assistant Miss Mellon. But all is not what it seems. Lies and deception, murder and intrigue flow through to present day where all is finally revealed.
And I'll reveal a bit more about Jacqueline. Jacqueline has been lucky enough to have had a few short stories published in various anthologies. She is an avid reader, loves cross-stitch, community theatre as an actor and director, who doesn't love community theatre, and her enormous family, 1 husband, 5 children and 12 grandchildren and counting. Congratulations.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. So, over from Modbury Heights, South Australia, is Rebecca Douglas, who has received a special commendation for Needs Must. This is the story of Sophie and her best mate Abby, who are on the couch in matching sports girl tracksuits one Saturday night, braiding each other's hair and knocking back Jim Beam and Cokes. As you do. They decide to look up Abby's ex-boyfriend online and track him down, which turns out to be a very bad idea.
Wow. And Rebecca Douglas is an Adelaide-based writer. Is that why? Her essay Sanity Sleuth won the Best MEAA Member Entry Award in the Overland Fair Australia Prize 2019. In 2023, her crime fiction manuscript Welfare Queens was shortlisted for the Penguin Random House Write It Fellowship Program and awarded a Varuna Residential Fellowship. Well done.
Great. And then putting life as yours.
Two more to go, and then we've got a little break. All the way from Mudgery Queensland, is Kelly M. Cox, who is highly commended for her story, This Game Will Keep Us Alive. This story is proof that anything is possible when women rise as one. Sorry, the stage directions are just fantastic. Okay, anyway, when these women get together, they are an unstoppable force, and the story climaxes when sisters fight back for their lives and for each other.
We could be related, couldn't we? Kelly M. Cox draws from her clinical career to create complex and entertaining characters who traverse the globe, exploring themes of life, love, and death. She has 5 published books and a newfound fascination for short story writing. Her social media is flooded with photos of her gorgeous dogs and long white beaches, 2 of her favourite things. Congratulations.
Right. Anyway, that's better than brown paper packages. They're wrapped up with string in my view.
Okay, and a special commendation goes to Sharmila Jayasinghe from Bella Vista, New South Wales, for Secrets Women Keep, which delves into... Okay, you've scored there too. Which delves into the intertwined lives of 3 generations of women, revealing the hidden truths and shared struggles they face while navigating tradition, marriage, and societal expectations. Love, mystery, and even murder add depth to their compelling journey of self-discovery.
So, Samila is a journalist turned author and a recipient of the Deakin Postgraduate Prize for Writing in 2023. She is shortlisted for the 2023 University of Sydney Union Creative Award and also is the recipient of the Veranda Fiction Prize in 2022 with a Master's in Creative Writing and Literature. Samila is currently a PhD candidate at Sydney University. Just a slight overachiever there, I think. But congratulations. Oh, yeah. Oh, hold it out.
Oh, fantastic. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, now we've got the break.
Now to the Queen Queensland chapter of Sisters in Crime, Liz Navratil Award for the story with the best disabled protagonist, worth $400. And the award goes to Sandra Tom Jones from Healesville, Victoria, for the motive in the motives. Here's the synopsis. Professor Alex Macario liked the routine and predictability of working at the university. Oh, sounds like my kind of person. She found her colleagues' passion. There's your mark. She found her colleagues' passion for variety and for leaving dirty coffee cups in the kitchen disturbing. I do. I've thought about this, but when they started dying unexpectedly, she knew the answer had to be in the pattern.
Sandra is an autistic artisan, academic and advocate. She is the author of Growing into Autism and a passionate champion for the inclusion of autistic people in all aspects of society. Sandra lives in Healesville with her husband, younger son, dog, cat, and all things pink.
Well done. Okay, the Scriptworks Great Film Idea Award, worth $500, has been won by Kim Robin-Smith from Seaford on the Peninsula for Lady Bethany Homestead. Here's the synopsis. Young couple, Amelia and Daniel, there's your mark. Am I doing okay? Good, yeah. All right, Amelia and Daniel leave hectic Melbourne behind to pursue a new job and tranquil lifestyle in country Victoria. They cannot believe their luck when they stumble upon a fabulous rental deal which is too good to pass up. But their new home delivers more than they bargained for.
Kim Robin-Smith is a published writer of short fiction. Kim does some genre hopping, with crime fiction her favourite. Her tales promote our Australian colloquialism through extraordinary events that occur in everyday life. Kim's stories appear in several anthologies, including the Peninsula Writers Club website, where she was awarded the Summer 2020 Digital Writer in Residence. Well done.
All right.
Okay, we've got a new award, the new Monash University Award for Best Campus. It's a long night. For Best Campus Crime, worth $600, attracted lots of entries. But the winner is Carolyn DaCosta for Spider-Woman. And Carolyn brings 30 years of university experience to this story of medical research academics behaving badly. And a possible attempted murder. There you go, Carol. That's your mark. You got to stand there. Here, you got to stand there. See that mark? That's your mark. That's for the camera. Stand there like this. Stand there. The trapdoor.
Not a spider.
She thought it was a clue.
She just can't cope with wearing high heels.
All right.
We've discussed this.
Carolyn is a former obstetrician and gynecologist who turned to crime fiction because she obviously wanted a more lucrative career. In her her retirement. She has published 4 novels in her Cast Diamond crime series set in Cairns, and has been successful in several previous Scarlet Stiletto competitions. She now lives in St Kilda.
Hooray!
Welcome to Victoria.
Here we go, darling. Sorry. So it's all a bit for my it's big and the line has been so long.
27 years as an academic, poorly paid, and finalist. From poorly paid academic to successful crime writer. Okay, the Clandestine Press Award for cross-genre goes to Josephine Brick. On your mark. Do this with the dog. On your mark, sit. Josephine's from Frankston, South Victoria, and her story was called The Body in the Bookshop. Oh,
Original title.
late one evening, Angela Page stumbles on the battered body of a man in her campus bookshop. Angela doesn't recall this dark stranger being in her shop that day, and she's sure she's never seen him before. The mystery deepens as police struggle to find an identity for the murdered man. When all else fails, Constable Jason Lang plays a wild card and wins. And this award is actually being presented by its sponsor, Lindy Cameron.
Sponsor Clandestine Press. Josephine Brick once read that if you can't find the novel you want, write it yourself. And now she can't stop. During the lockdowns, 2 full-length chapter-a-week novels kept friends amused. Jo loves Australian authors, books set in Australia, and the celebration of ordinary people. You take the piss. Thank you. Congratulations.
We can squeeze in everybody. Thank you.
I've got to turn the thing around.
Sorry to be so bossy. This is my match. Right. Just another one. Smile.
Okay, the Viliama Grakulich Award worth $750 for Best Art and Crime Story goes to Romany Rekovic from Reed, ACT, for Skin and Bone. See it? See it? I do. You got it? A backyard tale of beauty and obsession, Skin and Bone explores what and who we're willing to sacrifice in pursuit of perfection. And maybe you take a closer look at your next cuppa.
By day, Romany Rekovic helps organisations share their true stories. By night, she writes not quite so true stories that have been published in places like the Canberra Times and the Newcastle Short Story Award, as well as winning Furious Fiction. Well done. She lives on the land of the Ngunnawal and the Ngambri people. Congrats.
Here you go, girls.
And now for the popular Kerry Greenwood Malice Domestic Award worth $750. And it goes to Georgina Coleman, Fitzroy North for Sticky Fingers. In Sticky Fingers, fingers, a young barrister encounters mansplainers at the magistrate's court. An old flame at her favourite cafe, and sexually transmitted debt in her work. She sets out to prove that her client's ex-husband forged her client's signature on loan documents.
Georgie Coleman has been a barrister for 10 years and a bookworm forever in Melbourne, Naarm. This is her first and definitely not last time entering the Scarlet Stilettos. Congratulations.
Fantastic. Looking here, girls. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're halfway there. Every Cloud Productions, the producer of Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, are the sponsor of the Mystery with History Award, worth $1,000 for the 8th time this year. And the award goes to J.B. Rowley, Middle Park, Victoria, for Shantytown. Is it Rowley or Rowley?
Congratulations, it's rolling.
Oh, thank goodness. I bet right. There's your mark. Oh. Inspired by the actual murder of Robert Scott in 1863, Shanty Shooting is the story of a woman who sets out to redress a grave injustice. Blithely disregarding the conventions of the time when women were expected to avoid controversy and be refined in appearance and manners, Eleanor Sinclair challenged the world of men in her determination to establish the innocence of a condemned prisoner. This character was inspired by Australia's first female detective writer, Mary Fortune.
Congratulations. As a child growing up in Orbost, Victoria, J.B. Rowley spent hours in the hayshed escaping her many brothers and reading books sourced from the local rubbish tip. Destined to be a writer, her mother once promised her a story worth writing about, which eventually resulted in JB's debut novel. Congratulations.
The HQ Fiction Award for Best Thriller, worth $1,000, goes to Cheryl Fairclough. In Bush Chicken, a woman who is retired from the world suddenly faces an unexpected clear and present danger and so must take ruthless action to protect those she loves.
So, after a 40-year career of non-fiction storytelling about social issues and people's lives around the world, Cheryl has now turned her hand to crime. This is the first time she entered the Scarlet Stilettos. She is a member of Sisters in Crime, Writers Victoria and Phoenix Park Writers. Congratulations.
That's fantastic, Cheryl. And then another one. Hooray!
We now come to the Melbourne Athenaeum Library Body in the Library Award, which is always popular. The Melbourne Athenaeum has once again generously sponsored 2 Body in the Library Awards. The runner-up award goes to Kim Graham from Croydon, Victoria for Borrowed Time. Clara Tara's body has been found in the library and it's not looking like a natural death. The head librarian points the finger, likely swaying. The local constabulary, Sisters Rose, Violet and Lily, set out to solve the crime, and their small town will never be the same again. Now, I believe the Vice President, Barbara Glidden, is here tonight to co-present this award from the Athenaeum. Please come and join us, Barbara. So, Barbara, you've got that to read out?
I do.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you. Is that close enough to my mouth? Okay. Dr. Kim Graham is a health researcher at University of Technology, Sydney. She lives in a leafy pocket of Melbourne, lucky you, Kim, and loves being in nature, crafting, and most of all, reading. She is on a mission to fit as many books in her home as possible.
All right, if you present that.
I know what.
Come out the way.
And I don't know. Yeah.
Do you want Deb and Fiona in there as well?
Absolutely.
All right, pop them in.
Great. Looking lively, girls.
So, Barbara,
Thank you very much.
would you like to do the next one?
Thank you, I will. I was also meant to do 2 sentences about the award. It's the body in the library, which is part of the Melbourne Athenaeum Library, which is part of Melbourne Athenaeum Incorporated, 188 Collins Street. Come on in. We have a crime series book group.
And it's been going since 1839.
Yeah.
Longer than Sisters in Crime. Just quite a few years.
All right. So, the main body in the library award, worth $1,250, goes to Alison Pascoe, Banneray Point, New South Wales. Congratulations. Yes. I'll do the synopsis, unless you'd like to, Alison. No. Okay. The year is 2030 and crime writer extraordinaire Julianne Fox has been murdered. However, she's unable to move on to the next world until she finds out who committed her murder in the library. Once Detective Sonia Harding recovers from the fact that she's talking to a ghost, the two agree to work together to solve the crime. But in the year 2030, all is not how it seems. Okay. And your bio, Alison. Alison writes under the pen name Alison L. Robson. She's only recently delved into the world of short story writing, and this is her first entry in the Scarlet Stiletto. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Fantastic achievement. While known as a romance author, the lure of crime writing has been calling her, and finally she's doing something about it.
Photo up, you 3, 4, 1.
And that gorgeous glowing front. Even it's not red.
Okay, it's 3-2-1 now for the Scarlet Stiletto. Third prize for the Scarlet Stiletto of $750 is co-sponsored by our longtime supporter Sun Bookshop. And newish sponsor Fremantle Press, which is publishing a sleuth of books by women crime writers. It goes to Sandra Tom Jones for The Safe House. Here she comes. And Sandra, as we know, also won the Liz Navratil Award for another story, so you've already had the details about her life. But here's the blurb for the story. When Lexi created the safe house for victims of domestic violence, she had no idea that 19 years later it would be so much a part of her life. It was so heartbreaking watching these women and children suffering, but so rewarding watching them recover and seeing them go on to help each other heal. Lovely. Okay, thank you. Okay, second prize. The Simon & Schuster second prize of $1,000 goes to Jude Bridge, Caversham, Western Australia, for End of Life. A pissed-off wife, an unfaithful husband, a gun, a made-to-order sex doll. What can possibly go wrong? A shot in the head leads to a court case with extraordinary performances.
Where's Jude?
Where's Jude? I think Jude might be in Western Australia.
Oh, what a pity, because Jude Bridge is a hobbit living in vineyard country, Western Australia. Her flash fiction has been performed at festivals and made into short films. Her short stories have been published in anthologies and online. In 2014, she won the Scarlet Stiletto Award and is tickled pink about it. Unfortunately, due to the tyranny of distance, Jude is unable to be with us tonight. Terrible shame since she has the biggest smile in the literary world.
No? Okay. All right. Okay, Fiona, I need you here because I've got to pass to you. Right. And the 2023 Scarlet Stiletto Award and the shoe goes to...
And the winner is Romany Regovic. From Reed Camera for Skin and Bone.
You can actually speak.
You're allowed to speak. The reason this book was not allowed to circulate before this was because it's the last story in the book, right? As the most recent. So you're published now.
Thank you so much. I can't believe that. I must admit I wrote the story in about 24 hours, the day before the deadline. Little bit Kate, I'm afraid. Yeah, thank you very much, Sisters in Crime. I don't know what else to say. I have to thank my best friend for my outfit. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we've got one more thing to do. We've got one more thing to do. There we go.
It's a team thing.
A lot of posing going on here. Pretty good.
Oh, how fantastic. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Who does who makes the award?
We'll announce that. It's coming. All right, now, Deb and Fiona, you might just want to sit down for a minute or two. You're coming back, so I'm not going to... You might just want to perch somewhere.
Yes.
Because what we're going to do now is Kate Kennedy,
Just here, darling.
in a moment, standing by.
Fantastic. So we just have to do this. Please, while Kate's getting ready.
No, keep going, you're all right. Yep. It's okay.
Step behind Carmel then, will it? Everyone does.
Okay. All right. So, what's going to happen now? Grab your award, grab your everything, and we'll
No, that's right. I need that for my drawer.
I'll give you this in just a second. Kate's going to do us the honour of launching the Scarlet Stiletto, the 15th cut, which has been edited by Phyllis King. Okay, so we've mentioned Kate a couple of times. As you know, she won the first 2 Scarlet Stiletto Awards in 1994 and 1995, and those 2 stories are in the Scarlet Stiletto 30 Years of Mystery, right at the front. Kate rapidly became one of Australia's most admired and awarded short story writers. She's also written and published a novel, a travel memoir, and 3 collections of poetry. She works as a writing teacher and a fiction advisor on the faculty of Pacific University's Creative Writing Program in Oregon, and finally completed her PhD in 2021. Oh, Dr. Kennedy! Okay, Dr. Kennedy, and is now trying to clear the decks to finish writing another book. All the winning stories from tonight, by the way, are available in Scarlet Stiletto, the 15th cut, for $7.99, direct from Clandestine Press as an ebook, or from Booktopia, Amazon, and iTunes. Grab the promotional postcard on your table. Advertising break. And there's a bookmark. Kate, I'm going to hand the mic to you.
Thank you very much, Sue. I'm just going to do one speech, not the 2, so you can...
You're just going to do the one?
Okay, relax. I'll merge them together. I'll smush them. You can sit up there. That'd be great. Thank you. I've been trying to keep my outfit a bit of a secret tonight, but I think I probably nailed it. Thanks to those amazing institutions, Savers and Spotlight, I was able to create this Scarlet Stiletto frock, as you can see, upon which 30 Scarlet Stilettos actually march. So yes, march on, sisters, and if you are ever going to make something like this yourself, I'm really hoping that I'm going to go and station myself next to the bookshop at the back, so that you can, as you come up and buy your book, you can tear off one of these for a bookmark. And I want them all to be gone by the end of the night, because they're kind of itchy and annoying. And the other thing is, as I was ironing them in my own laundry the other night, realised the top actually is a synthetic, and the iron was on too. I was hoping I could pass off as a bullet hole, but I don't think so. But anyway, so there's 30 stilettos, and I'm hoping that the first 30 people who purchase their book are going to come and grab a special one, especially if you're actually in it. That'd be fantastic. Now, I notice in the promotional material for this glittering, pearly occasion tonight, there was a picture of me from 2018 at the 25-year Stiletto Awards, and tonight I'm wearing the same shoes, not stilettos, because those days are long over, and I also have size 11 feet. So when you go online looking for Scarlet Stilettos in size 11, a lot of shoes for drag queens are what you'll find, with a lot of patent leather. I'm very happy in my orthopaedic Homeo-Pets, thank you very much. As we said earlier, I did win the first pair of shoes in 94 and 95, and the heel was this incredible kind of blade, and they kind of freaked me out a bit. And I had a friend who had a very whimsical sculpture garden, and I took the shoes off the bases so she could put them into her garden. I just kept the bases. And the other day I was looking in my study, and they're there holding up, supporting a bookshelf, the 2 bases, which is as it should be in a very symbolic way, because they hold everything up and keep everything in place. And when I read the biogs of the other writers who have won the Scarlet Stiletto Award, as I feel myself in this anthology we're launching tonight, particularly the 30-year anthology, you'll see that these authors have gone on very often to credit their win and Sisters in Crime themselves as being absolutely foundational to their notion of themselves as writers, allowing them the confidence and inspiration to go on to write more and more. And the published books by the women crime writers and the list of winners is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really, really proud to be part of that list. The Scarlet Stiletto Committee, of course, saw from the beginning the stiletto as a feminist play on the tradition of the genre, saying the stiletto, this is back 30 years ago, the stiletto is both a weapon and a shoe worn by women, and of course the colour scarlet has a special association for women. I think that's true, and despite, as I said, always managing to wear the wrong thing to these occasions, tonight I'm pretty confident that mine's going to be the winner. Although I'll be leaving hopefully just in black. So first I'm officially launching the e-book of this year's stories, but being an e-book and invisible, it's kind of hard to conjure the magic of this, but I'll hold this up. It's an e-book that contains, edited by Lindy Cameron, our very own Lindy.
No, the e-book.
Sorry. This one, the 15th cut, this is the 13 category-winning stories from the 30th annual Scarlet Stiletto Women's Writers Crime and Mystery Short Story Competition, run by Sisters in Crime, and it's available on any of the e-book platforms, I think.
Yes, from about midnight, because also we couldn't upload it because Romany didn't know she'd won.
So that would be Amazon, Kobo.
Clandestine Press. The QR code on the postcard goes to me. Much better
to go to Clandestine Press. Yes, it's very serious work, isn't it, this? Subverting the dominant patriarchal, paradigm one sentence at a time. I'm very glad we're all here to celebrate doing it. Whatever the platform is, whether it's electronic or real book, whatever archetype or genre that we choose, whatever category we find is our little wheelhouse we want to work in. Because I want us to never underestimate the power of a Scarlet Stiletto. I actually went to the physics fact book online to check on just how much pressure a stiletto heel can put on a floor.
I did this in grade 8 science.
It's so interesting. A bare foot puts 30 pounds per square inch, or PSI, onto a floor. A woman wearing a stiletto ramps up the pressure to 240 pounds per square inch. That's as much as 1,600 pound force per square inch, while a man exerts a mere 20 psi. Which is why people with wooden floors don't like you walking on them in stilettos. And why if you wear stilettos to a garden party, you will need to be assisted out of the ground that you will sink into with your heels. This immensity of pressure is applied to a minute area, the 1/16th inch of a spike of a stiletto heel, which means that given the choice between having your hand pummeled by a herd of elephants or a group of angry women in stilettos, you'd be wise to choose the elephants, whose feet are about 40 inches across. Personally, I'm still waiting for the crime story in which someone is stabbed with something that is 1/16th of an inch across after complaining about the divots in the new wooden floor. But the Sisters in Crime book club has already left, so the murder weapon is never actually found. And I'm happy to say that the research from this science came from a scholarly article entitled, get this, Have Pantsuit Will Travel, by Patricia Williams of the Mad Law Professor's blog. So it's all true. Now, I know we're here tonight celebrating the winners in a competition, but nice as it is to be recognised in a competition, writing is not really a competitive sport. Especially not for women writers, I don't think. The best athletes in the bunch, in my opinion, the ones who are good at the relay and the high jump and the juggling of other work and the marathon. After cheering crowds have gone home, there will still be in the stadium, writing away or perhaps taking the chairs, or putting the midnight oil in spite of nobody getting what you're doing. There's still a much bigger question for me now after 3 decades. Thanks to the sisters, still writing, is not the how to do it, it's the why. Why are we doing this? Now, story gurus tell us there's only 2 stories in the world, as I'm sure you guys have heard many times. Someone goes on a journey and a stranger comes to town. I've thought a lot about this because, as far as I can see, they're actually part of the same story, just told about different times in the story. We go on a journey ourselves when we set out to write something, and often it's us who returns home a bit of a stranger to ourselves, a bit more of a stranger than we were before. A protagonist leaves one way and then returns later changed, and the crime story gives us such a perfect structure. Somebody wants something and they can't get it. They go out to try and get it. The thing often is a longing, I think, for order, for setting things straight, for solving a puzzle or a problem, even for justice or retribution. There's a turn taking place in that story, for bringing justice to an unjust world, to go into a dark place to try and bring some illumination and coherence into a fairly incoherent, shitty, arbitrary, chaotic mess which often looks very much like reality. I don't want reality, thank you. I want the symmetry of a well-told story. A bit of cause and effect in a sprawling, random universe. I would like that beautiful crystallising narrative consequence that we get in story. I would like insights into fallible, flawed characters, as you were saying, and their unreliable, complex inner motivations. I would like to be sitting in a comfy chair by the fire with a pot of tea and some bickies and still get to experience the dopamine rush of peril and salvation and the vicarious thrill of pitting my wits against those of imaginary characters who are so intriguing and yet so unsettlingly like everyone else I know and myself. I want baffling mysteries made clear. I want to have a laugh occasionally, even if it's a wry, ironic laugh at how nothing quite turns out the way I thought. And I want a book full of short, sharp shocks which bring all these imaginary, intriguing scenarios to life for me. Now, what a surprise. I have to say to the sisters, someone goes on a journey and then later returns home transformed. I would never have started on this particular journey without the invitation, encouragement, enthusiasm of Sisters in Crime. Sometimes someone's just there in the right place at the right time to push the right lever, the one that you can't see for looking. It's very often a woman in my experience. This is invisible work, but in my experience, all the best work is invisible. It's not work that's performative or public, because really, you're not in competition with anyone except that new blank page in front of you. But it's what you make that matters. It's what you make that really changes things. So moving from being a reader to a writer and a reader has shown me the whys and the hows. Because why do I write now? The same reason that I read. It gives me pleasure. It's invigorating. It takes me out of my comfort zone and somewhere which stretches my preconceptions, and it energises me in a new way. And really importantly, it lets me find my tribe. We are a good tribe. Yes! We are a great tribe. I am thrilled to be here tonight as part of that tradition to celebrate you, everybody who has won and been shortlisted and who entered, to celebrate that network of support.
We're on? Yay! Okay. Sisters in Crime, brothers-in-law, welcome to Sisters in Crime's Scarlet Stiletto.
Support and alliance, and to launch via hundreds of determined walking red shoes, taking me and us somewhere new, showing us maybe the way we've come. The 30-year anniversary Scarlet Stiletto anthology. Here it is. I just want to show you something. 30 years ago, Carmel Shute gave me this. Remember this? Very collectible. It says, it's criminal what a girl has to do to get a good read. And I wore this. I wore that T-shirt at the family Christmas that came after the Scarlet Stiletto Awards, because I had one of those families who didn't really get what I was doing, and maybe you do as well. And so In exactly 1 month, we're going to be sitting, probably, at some kind of family celebration, which requires gift giving, possibly a Kris Kringle. It's very close this day, which we should celebrate. Often quite a lot of invisible work has got into it, maybe not quite as much fun as it could be. But this year, even if you can't be joyful, you can be triumphant. You can be smugly gloating at having at last the perfect Christmas gift for everyone in your life you can never buy things for. Find one of the authors in the anthology here, or grab anybody, one of the conveners, anyone. The lady behind the bar, doesn't matter. Get them to sign it. The person you give it to is never going to know. Just get them to sign it. The signature's the important part. Do it yourself. And just to, I don't know, has anyone got a difficult Christmas? At the last Christmas, my sister gave me another T-shirt. I want to show it to you. We have joke T-shirts now after that one in the family. Last year's said, if you were in my novel, I would have killed you off by now. I haven't worn this because I find it slightly passive-aggressive, I must say. But if anybody is facing a difficult relative this Christmas, and they know what's going to come, I promised Cheryl I would sing this little song for you tonight, if you want, and you have one, Cheryl, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to sing a song, but also, would anyone like this T-shirt to wear proudly and triumphantly this Christmas and not say a word? Yes? Down the back? Come on down. Come on up and get it. Yeah, for you, yes. This is for you. Perfect, right? You're lovely. Very nice. So here we go. Here's a little. This is for all of the authors tonight. Everybody who is facing that Christmas. I've written a little carol for us. Okay, Christmas carol. As you can tell, I'm not going to be very good, but I'm going to do it anyway. Here we go. God rest ye women crime writers, let nothing you dismay. For you must visit family, at least on Christmas Day. So where's this big bestseller then, is what they're going to say. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. If you need to shut them up, then here's a ploy. When they say, is it finished yet? Just smile and answer, no. When they say, if you got a publisher, just tell them you don't know. When your Auntie Lorna tells you that it's something you'll outgrow, just ask a few pointed questions of your own, about what they do when they get time alone. So Uncle Frank is still playing golf. Aren't you finished yet? Why play? If you don't get any better, why don't you give the game away? And Gran, are you still going to choir? Why sing if there's no pay and no contract to reward you at the end? Why waste your time if there's no dividend? And Mama, you're still obsessed with that TV show about the vet. And are you still doing pottery? Haven't you outgrown it yet? Why insist on going out for lunch with your old friend Jeanette? I don't judge you for how you spend your free time, Well, I'm a writer, that's what I do with mine. So God rest ye, merry crime writers. If they mock you, don't dismay, as you run the gauntlet of another fucking Christmas Day. They don't realise you'll be taking notes on everything they say, and everything they do and wear and cook, and every look. And one day it's all going in the book.